Okay. Even though it's early on in the investigation, this is what we've pretty much learned from witnesses so far. At approximately 5:30 this morning, officers from the Neighborhood Policing Division, along with other city agencies, were working a pre-planned event to go down to an encampment, to contact individuals that were there, to offer resources, and also to eventually clean up that encampment. As officers were making contact at a man-made structure that one of the inhabitants was living at, he kind of delayed coming out, and when he did eventually come out of the structure, he presented a handgun at the officers. The officers gave him verbal commands. He did not comply with those verbal commands, and fearing for their life, the officers fired at the subject, striking him. They immediately rendered first aid and then evacuated him out of the canyon area over to 500 Buyer Way, where they were met by paramedics, and he was transferred to a local hospital. The encampment is approximately a quarter mile north of Montgomery High School, and from there we started our investigation.
How many shots fired?
It's still too early in the investigation to determine the number of rounds that were fired, so we're still making that determination.
Two officers fired their handguns?
Right now?
Two officers?
I'm sorry?
Two officers fired their handguns?
Look, two officers did fire their department-issued handguns.
And the suspect's condition right now?
The suspect condition, he was transported to a local hospital. It does not appear to be life-threatening injuries.
Did the male have a real gun?
We're still trying to determine. There was a handgun recovered at the scene.
Were there other homeless in the area?
I'm not aware of that. It's still too early in the investigation. The homicide unit is going down to the encampment and conducting interviews.
About how many non-police personnel were with the officers at the time that the shots were fired?
So I don't know the exact number, but there were city park rangers as well as employees from Environmental Service Division or Department.
And those are essentially the witnesses that are you guys?
There are some people that are there, yes.
Can you talk about the background of the officers, how long they've been with the department?
Yeah, it's too early for us to give out that information in terms of the number of years, but they did work for the Neighborhood Policing Division.
Is that the homeless outreach team?
That encompasses that team.
So the officers and the other city employees are safe?
Yeah, there's no other injuries.
As far as what happens next with these officers, can you take us just through what the standard protocol is after an officer-involved shooting?
Yeah, so the officers will be placed on the administrative leave and offered resources. Obviously, it's a very traumatic time for them as well, and normal protocol will be in place from there.
Can you talk a little bit about the circumstances and you're responding to a homeless encampment? You maybe don't believe that somebody is going to be pulling a gun on you. Can you talk about the danger that maybe they didn't expect going in?
Just like in any, all police work, right? There's so many unknowns, and obviously, they're going there to offer resources to, clean up this encampment based on, probably complaints. Obviously, it's right next, just a little north of the high school, and then having, a male come out of his man-made shelter and present the handgun. Obviously, there's so many unknowns, and police work is can be a very dangerous job, and not knowing what you're going to encounter is part of that job.
Do you know from here if it'll be cleared, or what's the next step for that homeless encampment after this happens?
Yeah, I don't know that answer, to be honest with you.
Do we have like an age, race? I know obviously we know it's a man.
Yeah.
This person that was shot. But
Yeah. So the male initially looks like a Hispanic male, middle-aged.
is he going to be charged for assault with a deadly weapon against an officer? Or is he looking at any charges once he's dismissed from the hospital?
Yeah, that investigation is going on right now.
Is that also being carried out by homicide as well too?
Correct.
Okay.
What hospital did he go to?
A local hospital. All right, and I think that will do it for questions. Anybody else? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time, sir. And now we get to strip you.
All right.
Pretty good for your first time.
Mm-hmm.